You know, when I look back at my life, I can't help but think about the countless times I've stumbled, fallen flat on my face, and felt like giving up. It's funny how we often only see the highlight reels of other people's successes, but we rarely get to see the behind-the-scenes chaos that led to those moments. Today, I want to share my journey with you, a journey that's been anything but smooth. It's a story about failure, perseverance, and the undeniable truth that hard work really does pay off. Let's rewind a few years. Picture this: a young, ambitious me, full of dreams and ideas, but completely clueless about how to turn those dreams into reality. I had this burning desire to make something of myself, to create something impactful. But every time I took a step forward, I felt like I was walking into a wall. I remember my first attempt at starting a business. I was so excited, so ready to dive in, but I had no plan, no strategy, and honestly, no clue what I was doing. I poured my savings into this idea that I thought was genius. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. The business failed spectacularly, and I was left with nothing but an empty bank account and a bruised ego. At that moment, I could have easily thrown in the towel. I could have listened to that nagging voice in my head that told me I wasn't cut out for this, that I should stick to a safe job and forget about my dreams. But something deep inside me refused to give up. I realized that failure is not the end. It's a stepping stone. So I picked myself up, dusted off my ego, and took a hard look at what went wrong. I started to educate myself, to learn from my mistakes. I read books, watched countless videos, and reached out to mentors who had been where I was. I realized that hard work isn't just about putting in the hours. It's about being willing to learn, adapt, and grow. Fast forward a few months, and I decided to give it another shot. This time, I was armed with knowledge and a clearer vision. I started small, focusing on what I could control. I set realistic goals and broke them down into actionable steps. I embraced the grind, waking up early and staying up late, sacrificing weekends and social outings. It was exhausting, and there were days when I wanted to scream, but I kept pushing forward. I reminded myself that every small step was a step closer to my goal. But guess what? The road was still bumpy. I faced rejection after rejection. I applied for grants, pitched my ideas to investors, and knocked on doors that never opened. Each no felt like a punch to the gut, but I learned to take it in stride. I started to view rejection as feedback rather than a reflection of my worth. It was a lesson in resilience, and slowly but surely, I began to see progress. I celebrated the small wins, landing a client, getting positive feedback, or simply making it through another tough day. Those little victories fueled my fire and reminded me that I was on the right path. One of the most significant turning points in my journey came when I decided to embrace my authenticity. For so long, I tried to fit into a mold, thinking that I had to present a certain image to be successful. But then I realized that my uniqueness was my greatest asset. I started sharing my story, my struggles, and my triumphs openly. I connected with others who resonated with my journey, and that sense of community became a powerful motivator. It was a reminder that I wasn't alone in this fight, that we all face our own battles, and that vulnerability can be a strength. As I continued to put in the work, something incredible started to happen. Opportunities began to unfold in ways I never expected. I secured partnerships, collaborated with like-minded individuals, and built a network of support that I could lean on. The more I invested in my growth, the more I attracted opportunities that aligned with my vision. It was as if the universe was responding to my commitment and determination. I started to see the fruits of my labor, and it was exhilarating. Now, I'm not saying it was all rainbows and butterflies. There were still moments of doubt, anxiety, and fear. There were nights I lay awake, questioning whether I was on the right path, whether I was good enough. But in those moments, I reminded myself of the journey. I remembered the countless hours I had put in, the lessons I had learned, and the people who believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. I learned that success isn't just about the end result. It's about the journey, the growth, and the resilience you build along the way. Today, I stand here, proud of the progress I've made. I've built a business that not only supports me, but allows me to help others in their journeys. I've learned that hard work pays off, but it's the mindset, the willingness to learn, and the ability to embrace failure that truly sets you apart. If there's one thing I want you to take away from my story, it's this. Don't be afraid to fail. Embrace it. Learn from it. Use it as fuel to propel you forward. Your journey may be filled with challenges, but remember that every setback is an opportunity for a comeback. Keep pushing, keep growing, and never underestimate the power of hard work. It may not always be easy, but trust me, it's worth it.